Hello and welcome back to another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. In today's video, we're going to have my friend Eric from Drive Protected on. Eric runs a PPF shop up in Canada, of which he installs paint protection film and also sells DIY kits for all Tesla models. Eric picked up the phone and FaceTimed me the other day, wanting to show me a serious issue he just ran into on a brand new Juniper Model Y built in Fremont. Now, this is something that I was extremely surprised to see. Eric's going to explain the whole story, what went on with this, and the actual damage that came to the car, because this brand new Model Y with a couple hundred kilometers on it now has to go to the body shop because there was some serious issues with the paint. So I'm going to hand it over to Eric. He's going to explain everything, and then I'll come back at the end and kind of update you since he last took some clips. So welcome back and let's jump into it.
Hey Colton, thanks a lot for kicking off this video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Eric and I run the Drive Protected YouTube channel. We specialize in teaching people how to install paint protection film on vehicles. Now, we have this 2026 Tesla Model Y in Quicksilver right in front of me, and we just wrapped it in our Defense Plus matte paint protection film, and I literally just finished it this morning, and I'm walking around the vehicle and I'm doing all of my post PPF install quality checks, looking for any lifting edges, any fingers that need to be taken care of, any moisture bubbles, and any contamination that I may have missed during the installation. Today, first time since 2018, I found a piece of contamination that was so big that I missed that I was like, I have to get this out. I have to remove this from the vehicle. I have to replace this panel for the customer, because the customer is coming at 5 o'clock today to pick up the vehicle. And unfortunately, I went to go pull the film off, and let me show you what happened. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick walk around of the vehicle. We just finished wrapping this in our Defense Plus matte paint protection film, and the car is looking incredible. Really happy how everything turned out on the front end, doors, the mirrors, and everything. Everything's looking really, really good. Popped all of our moisture bubbles that were left behind. Didn't find anything that needed any trimming, but we got a one-piece bulk rear hatch. So there's no seams along that edge. But when we come around over here to the driver's side fender, you can see we have no matte PPF on here. So my problem that I had was I had a large hair right about over here underneath the PPF. Now the PPF had been on since Saturday, and that's long enough period of time, with it being Tuesday morning right now. That's a long enough period of time that if I pull the PPF up to pull that piece of contamination out, I'm going to be left with all kinds of work marks in the film right around here that are going to look even worse than the actual contamination under the film. So what I did, I peeled the film off, and just going to grab a chair and sit down for this one. Look right over here. You can see exactly what happened. We got ourselves paint pulled right down to the bare metal. So much so, I can literally just flake it off with my fingers. You can see that there's some paint inside my fingernail there, which is obviously pretty disgusting. But this rear fender, there's all kinds of issues going on with it. If we look, it's going to be hard for the lights to pick this up, but if you look right in this light over here, as I move it back and forth, you're going to see all kinds of streaks going up and down, kind of at an angle. In person, it almost looks like there's a bit of like dark paint very faintly put in there. Maybe the more I move over, you can really see that, how bad that looks. In fact, we also got rotary marks. We got sanding marks right over here. And I don't have a paint thickness gauge, unfortunately, but I'd be really, really curious to see how much paint we're working with. If we come up over here to this corner, look right over here. Look at that. Look at that extreme orange peel. It's like they sanded everything down over here but they forgot to get over here and they forgot to polish this up nicely. And this looks absolutely horrible, horrible. If we come down over here, it's kind of hard to see, but when I run my fingernail between the rear bumper and this rear fender, it's very, very rough and gritty. Almost like there was some dirt or some paint runs in there that they just kind of like chiseled off with their knife or something before putting the rear bumper on. And even if I look from the top down, this rear bumper sticks out quite far. Like it's not supposed to stick out that far. Like it should be nice and flush. Honestly, Colton should definitely be here doing a full build quality analysis on this vehicle. But we come up over here, look at all the dirt in the paint. Like it just looks horrible. I'm gonna open the charge port, see if I can't. Actually, it's still in car wash mode, so I can't. But it just looks really, really bad with all the dust and dirt nibs that are under the paint right there. And like zero attempt to try and fix that and make that even look good. Now, with this being the fact that it pulled paint, we were wondering like, okay, why is it pulling paint right here on the edge? It's a good question. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up wrapping the whole fender, and I pulled the side trims off and I wrapped the PPF underneath there for a super clean look, super clean installation. And as I went to pull it off, that's when it pulled this off. I'm actually gonna grab the PPF as well too, to kind of show you guys just exactly what that all looks like. And you can see right here, I got the PPF. Look at that. Look at that Quicksilver paint in there. So that was definitely the part that was right over there. Super, super unfortunate. This car only has 135 kilometers on it. And I don't know if this panel was repainted, but I'm starting to begin to think that maybe it was, just given how many sanding marks and orange peel and how much dirt there is in this panel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to send it back to Colton for his analysis here. But out of all the hundreds of vehicles I've ever wrapped since 2018, installing paint protection film and going through my same systems and processes with wrapping a vehicle and getting that vehicle properly dialed in before it goes to the customer, to have to remove a panel, to remove some contamination, and then to have it remove paint, and it only be brand new, 135 kilometers on the odometer. This is very, very unfortunate. And with my own personal Tesla Model Y, which is the exact same car as this, there's all kinds of issues in that paint as well too. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's send it back to Colton.
Well, I want to give a big thank you to Eric for shooting those clips so that we could share it here on the Out of Spec Detailing channel. What do you guys think about that? I mean, to me, that should never happen. I don't care what it is, if it's a brand new car, if the car was painted a week ago, if it was painted 6 months ago, you shouldn't really be able to pull paint off. And it, you know, especially with how Eric is doing that, it's not like the paint protection film had enough time to really grab onto that paint that pulling it off would cause that. I mean, how would that look in 5 years when that PPF is fully cured on there? Would you go to rip that piece of paint protection film off and pull that entire panel of paint off? I don't exactly know, but this really seems to be a growing issue from what I'm seeing with Tesla at the Fremont factory of very, very poor paint quality. I've had Model 3s in here in the new Quicksilver paint that I quite literally tweeted at Tesla going, are you guys literally painting these in the parking lot? Contamination everywhere, dust nibs everywhere. It's a serious mess. And I don't think somebody who just purchased a brand new $60,000+ vehicle should then have to go repaint their vehicle because Tesla didn't prep it right or whatever the case is there. To me, this seems like a paint prep issue. I don't know if they're just ripping through cars and trying to crank them out as quickly as possible, but paint protection film should not pull paint off a brand new car. Now, this also brings up an interesting topic. Last week, which I was working on a new Juniper Model Y, painted in Quicksilver also built in the Fremont factory. Video hasn't gone live yet, but I'll put a few clips in here. That car had the same exact area of issues. The car that I was working on had tons of weird orange peel in it, and it also had lots of sanding marks in it. So I'm wondering if there's something going on at the factory with these particular cars. Two Quicksilver Model Ys built at the same factory within a week of each other, having the same rear quarter panel issues. Now the weird thing here at this shop with the Juniper Y I was working on, I was actually decently impressed with the paint. Everything else other than that rear 3/4. So it really kind of begs the question of what's actually going on there. And yeah, I just think it's really, really sad that somebody spends their money on a brand new car, now has to go get it repainted, because once that edge is gone, it's completely gone. And the other sad thing is they're paying Eric to put paint protection film on to protect the paint. And then literally a day after that film has been laying on that panel, he pulls it off to replace it because of a small piece of contamination. And now you have no paint on the car. That doesn't seem right to me. Now this brings up another couple of questions I have. Is Tesla actually allowing their paint to cure long enough to have paint protection film put on? Now, this is a topic we've kind of run into with our Model S. It had to go get some bumpers repainted at our, local center here. Basically got scraped up in a parking lot. We took it over to the body shop. They resprayed the rear bumper, and then I wanted to put a coating on it. Now, coatings you can put on, I believe it's within 72 hours of repainting a panel. It depends on exactly the coating. But if you're going to put clear bra paint protection film on, I believe it's between 30 to 60 days they actually recommend waiting. So this brings up another thing. Should you immediately paint protection film your brand new Tesla? Because from my experience, our friend Brandon Tesla Flex, his car finished building 3 days before it was here at the delivery center and him actually taking delivery. So was that car painted 4 days ago, 5 days ago? I'm gonna bet that car was painted within a week of arriving at the delivery center. This is also something I've thought about more and more as I work on Tesla's solid black paint, as it is just soft as can be. And I just wonder over time, do you need to let these things kind of cure out a little bit longer? I don't know. It's a really interesting topic, but we should say paint should never just be able to be pulled off a car or Eric to take his fingernail and literally chip off paint there. Now, Eric filmed this a couple of days ago. He just called me this morning before filming this little clip here, talking about what has now transpired. So the customer reached out to Tesla, and basically Tesla said, well, how do we know that wasn't a scratch there before? It kind of sounds like they're trying not to cover it. Now, this to me, there's no scratch that happened there. I mean, Eric pulled the fender pieces off. Both he and I would notice if there was some sort of damage there. He would probably, figure that out before putting paint protection film on there. So it's kind of really sad because now this customer has basically the entire car wrapped in paint protection film. They've got one glossy panel that has no PPF on it. Now it's got to go to a body shop to get painted. My curiosity is if this car, or when this car goes to get repainted, are they going to notice more issues on that rear quarter panel of paint not sticking properly? I hope to kind of keep you involved with this story. So let me know what you guys think about this, because I think this is a pretty serious issue that Tesla needs to remedy. Doesn't matter if the car's been gone a week. This was clearly not a scratch. This is an issue with their paint physically not sticking. I don't know if it was prepped wrong. I don't know what it is, but this seems to be a massive problem to me. So thanks so much for watching another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. A big thank you to Eric for filming these clips. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next one soon. Bye-bye.